work very closely with our marketing department to put on all of these events and webinars for you guys. I am super excited to have with us today Mr. Ron Rana, wholesaler and educator about wholesaling here in Houston. If you guys know Ron, you know he is very passionate about wholesaling and teaching about it as well. So Ron, we're super excited to have you here today. But before we get started, I do just have a couple of quick slides I want to take you guys through kind of as we let people get signed on here. I have just some basic information about Quest and then some information about our upcoming events as well. So just a quick little commercial about Quest. We are the largest self-directed IRA custodian in the state of Texas. We do have 20,000 clients across the US. And physically, we are based in Texas. I'm actually in our corporate office in Houston right now, but we do have clients in all 50 states, all across the US. So we are very passionate about teaching investors about how to truly self-direct their IRA accounts into non-traditional assets, such as real estate, notes, private placement investments. And we're a pretty good sized company. We have about $2 billion in assets under management. And the reason that I like to touch on that there is because that $2 billion in assets under management is all alternative assets that our clients actually self-direct and choose to hold in their IRA accounts. So we do a lot of education. This is just one of the many webinars that we host. If you want to rewatch today's class as well as any of our other classes that we've hosted recently at Quest, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of great resources right there on our YouTube. We put a lot of effort into recording these webinars and putting shorter pre-recorded videos on those YouTube or on that YouTube every single week. So be sure to check that out. We have a lot of great resources for you there. Now, quick disclaimer, Quest does not give tax, legal, or investment advice. We provide a lot of education about how to self-direct an IRA. We bring in a lot of different guest speakers, case studies, things like that. But please be aware, always do your own due diligence before entering into investments. Watch the classes, consult with your attorneys and CPAs and accountants, and make sure that you're not rushing into deals and that you are properly vetting the people that you are working with, as well as the deals that you are investing into, whether you are using your own funds or your IRA funds. We really just cannot stress that enough. Now, the IRAs that we hold at Quest legally are exactly the same as any IRA that you have at any other custodian. The only difference, kind of like I was mentioning in the beginning, is the types of assets that we allow our clients to invest in. So legally, the IRAs are exactly the same, whether it's at Fidelity, E-Trade, Charles Schwab, or Quest. But the only difference is, instead of us holding stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, is our clients really are able to diversify their retirement portfolios by investing into real estate, notes, and other types of private placement investments. Now, there are a lot of benefits to having an IRA. It allows you to shelter your investments from your own income taxes and capital gains taxes. And, this one right here, last but not least, investing in what you know best. You guys that join these webinars, I know we get a lot of new people joining us, and we also get a lot of repeat attendees as well. You might as well use this knowledge that you have about real estate investing and apply it to the funds that you have either sitting in your IRA, or if you're looking to make contributions to get started with an IRA. There's a lot of different ways that you can benefit from having a knowledge of how to invest into non-traditional assets with your IRA account. Now, this slide right here, like I was mentioning, all of our accounts at Quest are self-directed. We actually have 7 different types of accounts that you can self-direct here at Quest for both you and your immediate family. Now, this is where having a free consultation with one of our certified IRA specialists is so important, because our IRA specialist, we go through some pretty vigorous training. We are trained to ask you certain questions to figure out which types of accounts might be best for you. Whether you are just getting started with new IRAs, whether you maybe just recently left a job and you're looking to roll over a 401k, or if you just maybe already have an IRA and it's just kind of sitting somewhere, and maybe you're looking to move some of those funds over to Quest and start investing into different types of assets. Reach out to us, set up a consultation with one of our IRA specialists, Whether you are brand new or whether you are ready to get started today, there's a lot of ways that we can help you out and kind of point you in the right direction. Even though we can't give you investment advice, we can provide a lot of great education about how you might best be able to utilize and maximize these different types of accounts. And the reason I really like to touch on that is because you can actually still max out most of your contributions for the 2020 tax year up until the tax filing deadline, which for most of the country is April 15th. But if you are in Texas and you were recently affected by the crazy winter storm that we had, they have actually extended the tax filing deadline for those certain individuals in Texas to June 15th. But you can still max out all of these contributions for both 2020 and 2021. And in a couple of slides, we actually have a really awesome promotion going on. If you want to beat the rush, go ahead and get those contributions in before the end of March. And we have a nice little giveaway contest that we are doing right now through the end of the month. Now, like I've mentioned probably several times already, you have a lot of different investment options. I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip over this one, but if you're looking for more specific education about all of these different types of investments that you can hold in your IRA at Quest, visit our YouTube channel, reach out to an IRA specialist. We do a lot of classes over these specific types of investments, maybe some do's and don'ts, due diligence, and a lot of case studies that we feature in our classes as well. Now, I want to use my last couple of minutes on here to walk you guys through some of the different educational resources that we offer. I've already mentioned our YouTube channel. Our website is also a really great resource. We have some archived classes there as well as a lot of educational articles and blog posts that we are updating and posting every single week. Now, one of my personal favorite events that we host is actually our virtual networking happy hour. And this event is on the first and third Wednesday of every single month at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So our next happy hour is actually tomorrow night on St. Patrick's Day. I would love for you guys to join me. These happy hours are really popular. It's actually set up as a Zoom meeting, so everyone gets a chance to share their cameras and gets about a minute to introduce themselves to the group. And at every happy hour, we have consistently had anywhere from 50 to 70 investors from across the US. And it ranges from people that are new, maybe they have IRA money, maybe they're looking to link up with people and place that money somewhere. Or we get a lot of people that join us for these happy hours that are really experienced investors that have a lot of years under their belt. And no matter where you might be in your investing journey, there's a lot of ways that you can benefit from networking with other individuals from all across the US. So I would definitely encourage you guys to join me for that event. It's a lot of fun and I really enjoy hosting them, and it's kind of built up a really great network. Now, I would also encourage you guys to check out our Saturday webinar series that we have. It's called Self-Directed IRA Saturdays, and these are probably our largest webinars that we host. We get anywhere from like 200 to 300 people that register and attend for these events every single week. So be sure to check out those Saturday classes. And again, if you can't watch it live, just go watch it on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page, sorry. Now, coming up in April 16th and 17th, we have our next edition of QuestCon Live. This edition of QuestCon Live will be the private lending edition. It is a full 2-day online self-directed IRA conference that we have started hosting. This will actually be our third one. And since everything's online these days, we have brought in the top speakers that we work with. We have about 20 different guest speakers that will be joining us from across the US. Now, technically, early bird sales ended yesterday, but we have extended it, I think, for just a couple of days. So if you want to get your ticket to QuestCon, it is $50 to attend. If you are a Quest client with a ticket or with your ticket purchase, we will also give you a copy of the recording for free. Just reach out to our marketing team and we'll get you registered for that. Now, as I was mentioning, tax filing deadline is quickly approaching. Our phone lines get busier and busier and busier. The closer we get to the tax filing deadline, as soon as we hang up the phone, it rings again. Someone's looking to get those 2020 contributions in right there at the last minute. So we're doing a little contest right now to give you guys incentives to not wait until the last minute and to go ahead and get those contributions in. We are doing a giveaway of a $200 Airbnb gift card for every $100 that you contribute to your IRA for either 2020 or 2021. Just has to be in by the end of March. You'll get one entry to win this gift card. We'll be doing the giveaway at the end of the month. There's no promo code for this. It's just based off of how much you contribute. And yeah, so be sure to get that in before the end of the month so you can go relax, go on vacation, or maybe start planning your next vacation, which I know I'm super excited to begin traveling again this year. So we thought this would be a fun giveaway. Be sure to get those contributions in before the end of the month and you'll be entered to win. On top of that, we are also doubling our rewards, our referral rewards this month. So we have revamped our referral program this year. If you know someone who is looking to open up and get started with their self-directed IRA, make sure that they use the promo code Double Rewards on their application and that they put your name on the application as well. And you will each get a $50 credit to your account. Now, outside of this month, normally it's a $25 credit. We are just doubling it for the month of March. And then we've got that giveaway going on as well. So we've got a lot of great promotions going on that will be ending at the end of this month. If you are interested in any of this, or if you have questions, if you want to talk to an IRA specialist just to kind of see how you can best utilize the resources that we offer, go ahead and take out your phone and scan this QR code. It takes about 15 seconds to put your information in, and one of our IRA specialists will reach out to you within a couple of hours. They are extremely fast in reaching out to you guys and getting those consultations scheduled. We use Calendly, so it's super easy to get that phone call scheduled with one of our IRA specialists. But we really pride ourselves on being very easy to get a hold of. You can chat live with an IRA specialist through our website. You can give us a call, or you can scan the QR code or send us an email. That is all that I have for you guys. Ron, I know you're there. Let's go ahead and bring you back on the screen. I'm super excited to have you here with us today. If you guys have questions, be sure to post them to the Q&A box, and I'll come back on at the end and answer some Q&A. But I know Ron will probably be making this an interactive class as well. So Ron, super excited to have you here today. I'm excited to see what you brought for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Haley. Guys, welcome to this very, very exclusive Zoom webinar brought to you by Quest. I am honored to be here to be a part of this webinar. So thank you guys for tuning in. Excuse my voice. I've just ended a live 2-day event with a lot of my one-on-one students. So I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit, but keep up with me. I promise we're going to make this entire thing very interactive, guys. And we're going to kill it. The more interaction I get from you guys, the more I'm going to give out. And that's just the kind of energy that I output. So make sure if you guys have questions during the webinar, okay, make sure you guys drop your questions below, and I will get to them as we can. And Haley will be looking at those questions also. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and do a screen share here. All right, there we go. And let's go here. I will go ahead and do this right here. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. So welcome to this special webinar here. My name is Ron Rana. I am the owner and CEO of Investopia Online. If you don't know who we are or who I am, you will know after this webinar, guys. But if you are in the Houston, Texas market, or the Texas market in general, it's pretty hard to miss who we are, right, and who I am, because we're so consistent. We have a very big online, following, and the reputation follows. So Investopia Online is a wholesale company. We are a wholesale outlet here in Houston, Texas. We wholesale everything from single family, multifamily, land, mobile home, storage units, you name it all. We wholesale it, guys. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys on being here at this webinar, right? What to look for when buying properties from wholesalers with myself, Ron Rana, right? Brought to you by, of course, my other companies, wholesaling re101.com. Let's go to the next slide. Perfect. About me, right? First and foremost, I am a husband. I am a father before I am a real estate investor or, motivational speaker or wholesaler, right? So this is my beautiful family here. We've got a new addition who is less than about a month old. The poor guy had to go through the snowstorm, but he is recovering now. So moving forward, I was featured on Yahoo Finance 2020 last year, which was a pretty big feat for me. All right. And of course, I do speak in front of thousands and thousands of people, not only on real estate, but, life in general. And being an entrepreneur is hard, right? They say entrepreneurs is a lonely road, right? But it's not a lonely road if you have others there alongside with you. And that's what I believe in. And that's pretty much what I preach. So moving on, guys, right? Again, I'm going to reiterate who Investopia Online is. We are a wholesale real estate outlet which specializes in finding distressed properties for wonderful investors like yourself, right? We've done tons and tons of business with Quest's clientele, and I love Quest Trust Company's clientele. You guys are so easy to work with. The money is there, right? And the process is smooth and is hassle-free, right? So what my company has done, we've created a unique marketing system for finding and selling distressed deals, okay? Single-family homes, right? SFR, mobile homes. We also specialize in multi-family deals. Our company is actually one of the few wholesaling companies that wholesales multi-family deals. When I say multi-family, I'm talking about 100+ unit deals. One of my biggest deals that I have done ever was a $2.6 million apartment complex. On one deal, we made over $300,000. Ridiculous, right, guys? Wholesalers are, the market is insane, right? So what can I say? COVID-19 has been, one of the biggest blessings in the real estate industry, right? We also do land deals. Anything you can think of real estate wise, we will wholesale it. So moving forward here, boom, 7-figure producer. My company did over 7 figures in revenue, guys, last year alone, and COVID-19 has doubled our business. It's been phenomenal. This is the right time to get into real estate, guys. If you are even thinking about investing, this is the right time here, right? So maybe some of you guys are asking, what is wholesaling real estate? I see YouTube videos, I see the commercials, right? Is it really, what is it, right? So basically, in real estate wholesaling, a wholesaler contracts a home with a seller, and then we find an interested party, i.e. you, the buyer, right? And what we're doing is we are assigning our equitable interest in the property. Remember, we're not flipping the house. I'm assigning my rights in the contract, my equitable interest in the property to my buyer, i.e. you. The wholesaler contracts the home with the buyer at a higher price with the seller and then just keeps the difference as a profit. Real estate wholesalers generally find and contract distressed properties, right? We're dealing with people who are going through death, divorce. They don't have any time. They don't have the money to make repairs on these types of properties. Probate, someone who can't afford their taxes, right? A lot of things that we're running into now due to COVID-19 is forbearance. A lot of people can't come up with that money, and we are coming in as, again, a solutions provider. I tell my team all the time, we are not here to gouge the seller. We're not here to make the most maximum money possible. We are a solutions provider because at the end of the day, we want to create a win-win-win-win situation for all parties, okay? The seller, the buyer, the wholesaler, and everybody in the transaction. Because if you're not helping people in this industry, you're not going to get far for long, right, guys? So moving along, how do wholesalers help investors grow their portfolio? Okay, I like to say wholesalers are the bloodline of this business. Like it or not, we are here to stay. Okay, unless it's Chicago or another state that they're kind of going through the legalities right now. Wholesaling is a legal business, right? So moving forward, again, right, how do wholesalers help investors grow their portfolio? We find distressed sellers who want to sell their properties, and we save buyers the time and money, because the buyer, sometimes they're not going to have the time to go out and do the marketing that we do, to put in that money we put in, right? Wholesaling is a very serious business, and I'm going to tell you guys, right, when you have marketing budgets between 25 to 30,000 a month, and you're moving multiple deals a month, that we basically, what we do is we bring a deal on a platter to the buyer. And if you're working with the right wholesalers, okay, you will make money on the deal, right? You don't have to worry about the due diligence process. Yes, the buyer is responsible for their own due diligence, but if a wholesaler brings you a deal on a platter, I would recommend vetting that wholesaler and just finding out the types of deals that they do, and how do they interact with their buyers. Okay, perfect. Now, how do you get your offer accepted by a wholesaler? One of the biggest things that we run into is buyers always ask us, Ron, do you have a bidding war? No, we do not do bidding wars at our property. The reason being is that we're here to build relationships with our buyers, right? And one way you can do that is build a relationship with your local wholesaler, okay? Again, I'm not saying to wine and dine your local wholesaler or anything like that, but just building a relationship, getting to these networking events and attracting a lot of these wholesalers, because I can tell you this much, I've done business with people, right, I like and trust, right? And the same way with, it works both ways. Buyers would deal with wholesalers that they like and trust. So I would definitely recommend building relationships with your local wholesalers, right? Now, what happens when you do get a property under contract with a wholesaler? We have heard some horror stories, okay, where the wholesaler has locked in the buyer and they've got some crazy, crazy terms, okay? So here's what you're going to look for whenever you're signing an AOC, an assignment of contract, okay? This assignment of contract is a legal binding contract between you and the wholesaler, saying that you're buying this property for X amount of dollars. Either you're going to be a cash buyer, or either you're going to be a hard money buyer, right? Or you're going to use an IRA to fund your deal, right? The wholesaler must be direct to seller or has a verifiable JV contract. When I say JV, I mean joint venture. Now, when I mean they must be direct to seller, what happens is that these wholesalers will go online, on Facebook, on social media, and the term is called daisy chaining. They'll bring a deal to a buyer. Buyer puts earnest money down on a property when that wholesaler was never in contract with the direct owner himself. They were actually marketing the property without the consent of the seller or the wholesaler, right, guys? So many times I see wholesalers come to networking events and say, I don't have it under contract yet, but here's the deal, here's the numbers. Mr. Wholesaler, you don't have a deal unless you have it under contract. So guys, make sure the wholesaler is direct to seller, or they have a verifiable JV agreement or contract to move that deal over to you. Because once the wholesaler signs a JV agreement with another wholesaler, they now have those same rights that the first wholesaler did in selling the property, okay? You may and should request to view the contract to ensure there's no special provisions, okay? Now, how do you approach a wholesaler by doing this? What you do is you go to the wholesaler and you say, may I view the contract so there are no other special terms and conditions? Sometimes we've run into deals where wholesalers have to pay an X amount of dollar to the seller in order for closing. Either they've agreed to do the, they've agreed to pay back an HOA amount, or either they've agreed to pay X amount for taxes. Sometimes buyers run into issues, okay, where a wholesaler has agreed to pay half of the yearly taxes, and the buyer had no idea about it until they got to closing. So guys, you need to make sure that you are actually viewing this contract with the wholesaler. Now, wholesalers are going to hate me for saying this, but I got good news for you, wholesalers. You can block out your purchase price, okay, and make sure you send it to your buyers so they can at least view there's no other special terms or condition. All right. All right, so how can you start acquiring properties, right, without a wholesaler? A lot of people like to say, I get this question all the time. Ron, how do I do my own marketing? How do you guys get deals? I'm tired of paying a wholesaler $20,000+ every time I'm getting a deal. And it is true, right? Now, given a wholesaler has every right to make 20 grand, but some buyers like to do their own marketing. Some buyers like to go out and keep the money in your pocket, right? So how many of you guys want to keep your money in your pocket, right? Type in money below, and I want to see. Haley, if you want to help me out here, as far as the Q&A goes, type in money, and I'm going to show you guys how you can actually market to these sellers and go directly to the homeowner. All right, I see a lot of comments that are coming in now. Perfect, thank you. Let's move forward here. How can you start acquiring properties without a wholesaler? All right, moving forward. There we go. All right, guys, get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to drop a lot of knowledge bombs now. So make sure, guys, unless you're going to come back for the replay, make sure you write everything that I'm telling you down, because this can potentially make you $100,000+ within this year. Okay, marketing 101, the mindset of marketing. Okay, now let me ask you guys, is marketing an expense or is it an investment? Drop your comments below. Let's see your comments, guys. Let me see the interaction now. There we go. Love it, William. All right. Love it. Sharon. All right. Faria, welcome. Some of my students are on here. Sophie, absolutely, guys. So marketing is a mindset, right, guys? 100%. Now, marketing is an investment for sure. If you think marketing is an expense, you're in the wrong business. Because here's the deal. When you put something out in marketing, you are expecting an ROI, right? You invest money to make money. And that's where the mentality should be. A lot of buyers get scared of spending $5,000, $10,000 a month just to acquire a deal, right? And again, if you want to start sourcing these leads to these sellers, right, you got to start thinking differently. Yes, Houston is a competitive market. Yes, it will always be competitive. Yes, it was competitive before you even got in, right, guys? But you have to be on the leading edge of the process, okay? Marketing is the bloodline of any business, right? The more money you put in, it's crazy how it works. This is why people put millions and millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads. This is why, when you think about soda, what do you think? Coca-Cola, right? When you think about burgers, what do you think? McDonald's. It's the marketing. They've done marketing, right? And they've subconsciously ingrained themselves in people's mind, right? Every time you see the golden arches, you think of what? Crispy French fries. It's all about the marketing. And that's one thing that I have specialized in, especially in this industry, is I've been able to market myself and my company constantly on a daily basis, right? So when people think about wholesaling in Houston or wholesaler, Ron Rana comes up, or Investopia Online. And this is why we have one of the largest buyers lists in the Houston market, hands down, right? With over 70,000 plus buyers organically grown in the Houston market. So we are constantly moving volume, guys, and it was all due to my marketing. All right. A lot of buyers ask me, Ron, how much money should I put back into my business? Okay. I always say you must invest 30% of your net assignment fee must be reinvested back into your business. If you make $10,000 as a fee, you must invest $3,000. Does that make sense, guys? Right? Once again, if you make $10,000 as an assignment fee, you must invest $3,000 back into your business, right? This is a numbers game. This is a volume game. The more money you put into marketing, the more money you're going to make, right? And a lot of people always ask me, oh, what is the average cost per deal in our market? I said, well, how much are you spending in marketing? Well, none. Well, your average cost is going to be none, right? But I know my average cost to acquire a deal and my average, what is going to be my KPIs. And I'm going to go over KPIs later on in this webinar. So awesome. If we have any questions, Haley, do we have any questions from, looks like the message box is full. So yeah. What questions do we have?
So we actually do have a question from Sharon. Sharon wants to know, how do you make sure the buyers do not bypass the wholesalers when they see the contract? It's a great question.
Okay, that is a great question, Sharon. Now, as a wholesaler, you have the right to protect your equitable interest in the property, okay? We do file a memorandum of contract on all of our deals, aka clouding the title. Okay, so what we do is once we acquire a property and we go into contract, my COO immediately, right, sends the deal, sends the contract and the memorandum of contract to the county courthouse, right? And we basically file a memorandum of contract. We don't actually send a contract to the county because they don't need to know what we're doing. But that is just to remember, your memorandum of contract must be notarized, okay? You do not let your family member notarize you. That's just a word of tip, okay? One time we had a wholesaler notarize a document, but it was their brother who was a notary public, and that didn't hold too much, right, guys? So make sure you go to your bank, okay? The banks will notarize this document for free. For free, you have a mobile notary at the bank. So how do you protect yourself? You file a memorandum of contract and a memo, okay? Perfect. All right, moving forward here. Do we have another question?
Yes, we do. We just have one more question. Is your company in Houston only, or do you operate in other cities, specifically DFW?
We do actually. The great news is we are in the Fort Worth area, okay? But we are heavy in Houston, San Antonio, Tampa, and Atlanta are some of our other fewer markets. So we are virtually wholesaling in those markets. So if you are looking for deals, please email us, right? I'll give you our email address after this webinar. If you'd like to be on our buyers list, we'd love to have you guys. So moving forward now, let's go here. Perfect. Now, as a wholesaler, you must have a goal, okay? Two types of goals you must always keep track of: a revenue goal and a deal goal, okay? Say you have a revenue goal of making $10,000 a month, okay? So what we do is we take that $10,000 and we need to reverse engineer your goal. So if it costs me $7,500 average deal size to get a deal in Houston, I must reverse engineer my goals, okay? Number one, my goals have to be specific, right? Again, $10,000 is a very, very specific goal to have. If I want to make $15,000, that's the goal I'm going to write. Now, that goal has to be measurable. I can't just come out the gates and say, I want to make $100,000 a month and I'm a new wholesaler. Listen, don't get confused by the clout. Don't get confused by the smoke and mirrors, the Lambos and the private jets and that's not what we're here for. You guys are some of the smartest people in the investing world. Why? Because you're Quest clients. Duh, right? So I'm telling you guys here, your goals must be specific. Pick an amount and you reverse engineer your goals. They must be smart. They must be measurable, right? Of course, your goals must be attainable also, right? You must be able to take those small little steps, put a little bit of money here in marketing, put a little bit of here, make X amount of calls in order to get, because if you make one phone call, you're not going to get a deal. You got to constantly be getting on the phone, talking to sellers, right? How many contracts am I getting? How many deals do I want to do a month? So if you want to do, say, 10 deals a month, let's take a low number. If you want to do, 10 is a low number for us, but if you want to do 5 to 10 deals a month, you gotta put a goal now, right? How many deals do I want to do? I take my yearly goal, I break it down per quarter. Okay, you get it? I'm showing you guys how to reverse engineer your goals. 1 year, I want to make X amount. Say if I want to make $100,000 for the year. Okay, $100,000 for the year. I reverse engineer $100,000 divided by 12. I take that amount. Now I break that down into a weekly goal, right? And that's how you're going to do it. Your goals must be relevant, guys. It must be relevant. I see a lot of wholesalers get into this game and they have irrelevant goals. They don't know where they're going. Having a goal sheet and having a revenue goal is like having a roadmap, a GPS. You must know where you're going. Okay? Moving on. Your goal must be time-based. Now, if I want to make 100K and I put a 1 year time frame, that is my time frame. If I want to make 10K for the month and I have a 1 month and I want to give myself 3 months, 90 days to make 10K, I need to reverse engineer that goal. Okay, and I'm just breaking it down. Really simple process, right? Moving forward. Now, let's get to the meats and juices. If you want to know what type of marketing I'm doing in order to generate over 7 figures in wholesale fees, drop marketing below. Comment below, guys. Marketing, marketing, marketing. If we have any other questions, Haley, let's see here. Perfect. We covered is wholesaling legal? Yes, we did cover that. All right, we've got some comments coming in. Marketing, marketing. I see it here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, cool, cool. I love the interaction, guys. Remember, the more you output to me, the more I'm going to output to you, right? Let's jump right in, guys. Let's jump right in. Let me go ahead and close this screen here. All right, types of marketing. Direct mail. All right. Again, I'm going to go over multiple marketing strategies, okay? And at the end, we'll sum up what marketing is, right? Again, we already talked about marketing is the bloodline of the business. Direct mail, I can send yellow letters. Now, what I would suggest you guys doing is that you need to think differently from the crowd, right? Think outside the box. Those who succeed think outside the box, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We as investors, let's face it, we're insane. That's the truth, right? We're insane because we want to be successful. We want to make money and we want a better life for ourselves and our family. I don't know a more crazier person than me in this industry, right, guys? Because I want all the above and then more. How am I going to get there? I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. That means I'm going to keep putting money in marketing and I'm going to just do the same thing. And all I'm doing is I'm rinsing and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Every month, my marketing doesn't change. Every month, my budget doesn't change, right? Unless it's like, I know tax season comes around, we might go a little bit higher on our budget, but other than that, everything always stays the same. Now, yellow letters are phenomenal. I would recommend you guys taking a yellow letter and doing a pink letter, okay? When you say, now that's a ninja strategy, right? We don't actually send yellow letters, okay? We send a pink letter to the seller. Because why do you think that is? Let's see the interaction, guys. So drop your comments below. Why do you think we send pink letters instead of the traditional yellow letters, right? I'll give you the answer, right? Yes, you got to stand out. 100%. Somebody wrote, you got to stand out. 100%, right? When the seller sees, absolutely, it is a sense of urgency. Yep. Sharon says, pink looks like it's a late charge invoice. Absolutely. I know a thing or two about that, Sharon. So absolutely. When I get a pink letter, I'm like, what is this? Right? A pink letter actually is kind of a notice of default letter type of thing, right? Where people will be like, oh, what is this? They're more inclined to open a pink letter more than a yellow letter, right? And what we do is a pink letter is one sort of a kind of a final notice type of deal, right? And you'll get, trust me, you will get sellers to read your pink letter. So cool. Moving forward here. Now, Ron, how do I go to get direct mail? Okay, you can go to yellowletterhq.com, and they also do postcards there too. And we're going to go over postcards here in a little bit. So if you go to yellowletterhq.com, I have no affiliates with those companies. Go ahead and go out there, and that's one of the companies that we do use. Next is going to be postcards. Postcards are phenomenal, right, guys? So when you do postcards, you always want to put a sense of urgency. Again, I'm not doing yellow postcards at all because everybody else and their mama is doing yellow postcards, right? I want to do either a pink or orange postcards. On the top of the postcard, I want to do final notice. Guys, I have to, okay, disclaimer out there. You are going to get a lot of PO'd clients, PO'd sellers, right? But at the end of the day, they're going to call you. What you want, the first thing you want these sellers to do is to get on the phone with you, okay? Now, on the postcards, right, we go to gobigprinting.com, okay? And you'll be able to get postcards from there, all right? And then we're also going to go over other places. Like you can go to, for example, if you guys haven't heard of PropStream does also do postcards too. They have a phenomenal app. Okay, if you go to runmycomps.com, Haley, if you want to write that in the comments. I don't have that on my slide here because this is a bit older slide. But if you go to runmycomps with an S.com, you'll be able to sign up for a free 7-day trial with PropStream. You'll be able to pull a list with them. They have a phenomenal driving for dollar app. Okay, and they give you some of the best customer service out there as far as their program and their software goes. It is true data aggregation. Okay, and we're pulling lists of people who are going through a lot of the top motivations that I discussed previously, and that's how I'm pulling my list. Once again, it's runmycomps.com. It's $97 a month with them, but so worth it, guys. Who would spend $97 to make a $10,000 fee? Hello, I would. Absolutely. And you got to have these tools, right? Next is going to be RVM, ringless voicemail. Okay. Now, what is a ringless voicemail? A ringless voicemail, many of you guys might know this as, say if you got your phone, right, and you don't see a call coming in, but you see a voicemail came in. Hi, Mr. Seller. This is Ron here with We Buy Houses Houston. You know, I was in the area and I saw your property. I was wondering if you would like to get a cash offer or would consider a cash offer. I'm flipping a property in your neighborhood. Let me know as soon as possible. 713-832-918, blah, 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 blah. That's it, right? And if you like to opt out, boom, that's right there, right? Now, where do you go to send RVMs? You can go to slybroadcast.com. Okay. Once again, we have no affiliation with Sly Broadcast. Make sure you go out, and that's who we use for our RVM campaign. Okay, guys. Next, I like to chat about is one of the. I'll put it like this: there are the top 3 most inexpensive ways of marketing in this business. Number 1 is going to be cold calling. Hands down, and I'm going to talk about that. Number 2 is going to be driving for dollars, one of the most inexpensive ways. So remember, write that down. Cold calling, driving for dollars, text messaging. The best ways to get in touch with the seller right away, and it's the least expensive actually. So it doesn't cost as much as yellow letters or postcards or even RVM. RVM, again, go to Slide Broadcast. You'll be able to send RVMs to actually 4. RVM is a great way too. But moving forward, Lead Sherpa is a phenomenal platform. Okay, you can go to Lead Sherpa. Now, text messaging, there's a fine line for texting. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you guys, you must be compliant with text messaging. There are people out there who are professional litigators. Okay, if you cast the wrong person on the wrong day, you will get hit by the book, the law book, right? So make sure you're safe. Lead Sherpa is a safe and legal texting platform, right? Legal keyword. Yes, yes. You want to make sure that you are being in compliant with the TCPA laws and etc. Okay, guys. Lead Sherpa is phenomenal, and we use it all the time. I believe CallRail does also do text messaging. So that's not on my slide here. CallRail.com, and they are phenomenal platform also. Okay.
Hey, Ron, I have a question for you.
Yes. What is the question?
What about text messaging could be illegal? What do you have to worry about there? That's really interesting.
Okay. So with text messaging, right, they have privacy laws. What happens is that professional litigators are going after people who send out mass text messages, soliciting, right? A lot of the scammers out there are sending mass text messaging, and a lot of these carriers are now blocking text messages that say sell, buy, cash. Do not use these words, guys, right? Do not use these because these are trigger words. I know AT&T has blocked text messaging for their clients. Verizon has blocked it. T-Mobile is moving towards that also, if they haven't, because they had a merger not too long ago. But yes, you have to stay compliant when you text message. 100%. 100%.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. It's good to know.
Yeah. Yes. So awesome. It's always a great day when Haley gets to learn something because she knows it all, guys. So I'm excited every time Haley says, I didn't know that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got her now. So, all right. Next is going to be Bandit signs. Again, disclaimer, guys. All right. Bandit signs has been one of my best lead generating marketing tactic out there, right? A lot of my students do Bandit signs. Matter of fact, one of my students had done a Bandit sign of We Buy Houses, and they made a $70,000 profit on one deal. 70 grand. They got that lead off of a Bandit sign. Why are Bandit signs so phenomenal? Because people call you. I believe Bandit signs are the next best thing since sliced bread, to be honest. Now, there are also laws regarding Bandit signs. Do not go out and loiter your city, right, guys? That's not what I'm saying. The city does give you the weekend to put out Bandit signs. On the weekend, you are able to legally put out Bandit signs. Make sure you go back and pick them up from the locations so you don't get hit with a $500 plus fine. Because the last time I heard, they were now moving up to $10,000 per fine. The city does not like the loitering. And do not post Bandit signs on stop signs. Illegal. Don't do that. But make sure you go back and you are picking up your signs. So next week you can repeat, recycle, right? And make sure you're in the legal realms of it. Don't knock down a Bandit sign on one of those lines, like underground lines or anything like that, damaging city property and stuff like that. So you can also, one of the best ways that I've actually been able to make this successful for me was I built relationships with gas station owners. That's their private property. You can put whatever you want on a private property, right? So we've built relationships with a bunch of these gas station owners. We just put up signs on their right there by the grass, and We Buy Houses. Nobody will call you. Nobody fusses you. Just make a deal with the owner, right? Give them a little bit of, referral money every time you close a deal. And that's kind of a little tactic that we use for Bandit signs. Now, I'm going to show you guys what type of Bandit signs have provided us with the highest ROI, rate of return, right? Now, rate of return, return on investment. I'm thinking like rate of return, return on investment. Okay. Now, Bandit signs come in two different forms, 12 by 18 and 18 by 24. We don't go crazy on a bandit sign. The less information you have about a bandit sign the better it is, right? We buy houses, we pay cash, boom. Your name, not your name, sorry, don't put your name ever on a bandit sign. You can put like, Paul buys houses, or Mark buys houses, or Amy buys houses, or, Sarah buys houses. I'm going to give you guys a tip right now. You should never use a male name on a bandit sign. Why is that, guys? Drop your comments below. Why shouldn't you use a male name on a bandit sign? Or why are female names more likely to be called? Right? Haley says because we're smarter. Okay, that's true. Yes, yeah, I'll give you guys that, right? So females are less likely to get called and cussed out, right? Because a lot of people, yes, Sophie, you're right. People are sympathetic to females a lot more. So don't use Joe buys houses, don't use Barry buys houses, or Ron buys houses, right? All of our bandit signs are female names, and whenever they do call in, they always ask for X, Y, and Z, Sarah, Nicole, whatever it is that, right? Pick a name that you like and put it, right? Haley, is there a question? I think I've seen a question come in.
Yes, we have a question. Rebecca wants to know, can we use our company name instead?
Okay, no. The reason why is because you don't want to get fined by the city. Remember, sometimes if you don't pick up your signs, they become illegal. Sunday night, if you don't pick it up, that bandit sign is illegal. And the last thing you want, Rebecca, is the city calling you and giving you a ticket. Does that make sense? So do not use your company name. Do not use a website. Just put, X, Y, and Z. You can put a burner phone number on that sign. Or if you go to callrail.com, okay, you'll be able to sign up for them. And then they give you like 10 phone numbers. Okay, and then you can track your marketing. That's how you track your marketing. You put on your postcards, your mailers, your bandit signs. You track where those numbers are coming from. Remember, it's just like any business. The more you know where your calls are coming from, the more you know where your business is coming from, the more money you're going to want to put in. The reason why I love bandit signs is because I know that sellers are calling from bandit signs, and it's producing us. Right? Does that make sense? Cool. 12 by 18 or 18 by 24. You want to use green and white in the hood or the ghetto areas, right? Acres Home, Fifth Ward, Sunnyside, aka Money Side, right? Guys, let me be the first one to tell you, the money's in the hood. Let me repeat that again. The money is in the hood, okay? Start marketing in these select areas of your city, okay? Again, right, guys? That's where it is. Now, I want to put a white chloroform with green lettering, okay? Or on corner of heavy traffic feeders, I want to do yellow and black, okay, guys? Remember, yellow, I want to do a yellow chloroform with black lettering, right? Here we go. White and green, or we have yellow and black. That is an 18 by 24 sign, and that is a 12 by 18. If you want to learn more about bandit signs, I have a training 100% for free. I have a training on my YouTube channel, okay? Just go to youtube.com/Ron Rana 1 and take a photo of this, screenshot it, whatever you want to do, okay? And then we have a special link too. If you want to do bandit signs, we do have a special link where you could get like 100 signs for 99 bucks, which is a pretty good deal, all right? Next is going to be cold calling. One of my most top ways to get deals is just cold calling the seller, right? I want to cold call people. I want to get in touch with people. Remember, the more people you talk to, the more chances you will have to close the deal. Now, we use services. Now, you're in luck, right? Callvirtuals.com is a company, is in the Philippines. I actually, full disclaimer, I own callvirtuals.com. We cold call for investors all over the country, and it's been phenomenal. We have many clients closing over 100 grand a month in with our services just from cold calling, guys. These are vetted VAs. There's two types of ways you can cold call. Okay, guys? The first way is calling yourself. Now, if you don't have the time to cold call, if you don't have the time to get hung up on, if you don't have the time to dial for dollars, right? You don't have time to make, 200 to 300 or 400 calls a day. I would suggest you need to outsource a VA. Now, you do not need to hire callvirtuals.com, right? Of course, if you want a highly qualified and vetted VA, you can do that. If you cold call yourself, you need to take time. If you hire a VA and you outsource it, remember, you will need to sit there and train the VA. Training takes a long, and excruciating time, right? Because you have to find the right VA. You got to make sure they have a good dialect. You have to make sure that they're on point with what they're saying. I'm going to give you guys a clue how we interview VAs. Again, 95% of my VAs have been with me for over 2+ years. These are highly trained, qualified VAs. They also cold call for us. What we do is when we go through our training process, although a lot of my VAs are in the Philippines, I like to hire VAs in India, outsource also, Nicaragua. One time I was hiring a VA and we were doing an interview call, and I just asked them to say, hey, spell cookie, right? Cookie, simple, right? So the VA in India, actually, I knew for a fact that his dialect wouldn't be American if I would have asked him this question. So this is one question that we do ask our VAs. So if they say, 00, so he said COOKIE. In America, we don't say 00. We say 00, right, guys? So these are some strategies and tactics that we use in order to vet the VAs. And that if you're looking to hire a VA, again, callvirtuals.com is a phenomenal resource. We use it to close multiple deals a month. We have many students and we have many investors that we cold call for. And these are highly qualified VAs. If you don't have the time and you want to delegate the task, make sure you look into that. Not only that, have you guys ever heard of the fortune is in the follow-up, right? If you've heard of the fortune is in the follow-up, drop it in the comments, right? Say, I've heard the fortune is in the follow-up. Drop it in the comments below if you agree, okay? The fortune is in the follow-up, right, guys? And I'm going to tell you guys why the fortune is in the follow-up, okay? You need to be following up with these sellers. As clients for Call Virtuals, we follow up for you because what you need to do is you need to be out talking to sellers and getting contracts. Okay, you can't be sitting on the phone just bop. Hey, I'm following up with you. Hey, I'm following up with you. Hey, no. As a added bonus, remember, guys, the owner of that company is me, and I'm in this business, and I'm doing this business every single day. So I understand how important following up is. So we actually have dedicated VAs. Again, that's included in your pricing. We follow up leads for you, right? Remember, he who stays top of mind gets the deal. So anytime a seller says, hey, I want to sell my house now. I remember Ron calling me a month ago. Hey, Ron, are you guys still interested in buying my property? I am, right? Even though you didn't follow up with the seller, we were following up for you. We've had clients get deals just like that, guys. So we use a lot of ninja tactics when we do follow up. Now, how are we calling 300 to 400 people a day? Or say if you want to start calling 300 to 400 people a day, right? You are going to get on a dialer. Does anybody know what a dialer is? Right? Are you familiar with a dialer? A dialer is a very, very powerful tool. I see some comments dropping in now. Absolutely. Yes. Sharon says she has heard about a dialer. Now, let me explain to you what a dialer is. A dialer is a system that dials simultaneously X amount of numbers all by one. Whoever picks up first, they drop the phone call for the other individuals. Now, there's a lot of dialers out there. For example, mojodialer.com, right? Mojo Dialer charges $150 a month for a 3-line dialer. I don't want to call 3 people at one time. I want to call the absolute most people at any given point, right? As many people as I can, right? So, so basically, what we do is we partner with Call Tools. Call Tools gives you a 10-line dialer, okay? 10 lines. Remember, 10-line dialer, okay? And it's only $99 a month. Mojo is a 3-line dialer for $150 a month. So if you go to callvirtualsdialer.com and you sign up for that, they'll be able to hook you up with a 10-line dialer. Okay, guys? So any question, Haley, do we have any questions so far?
Yes, we do. Give me one second. Let's see. This one's kind of going back to the Bandit signs. Should we always put out Bandit signs during the weekends only?
It is preferred, yes. I would recommend putting out Bandit signs on the weekend, yes, from Friday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, one thing my dad says is he likes to put his Bandit signs where the grass is like really gross and overgrown a little bit, because less people are going to take the time to walk over and rip out your sign if it's harder to get to it. I just think that's kind of a fun little fact to throw in there.
Yeah, absolutely, right? You don't want somebody crawling into the mud or the swamp or getting bitten by a snake.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's also now that I think about it and mention, we do use something called a sign stapler. It's like a long 6-foot pole where you put a sign up. And you ever seen like on a telephone pole, you see those Bandit signs? You ever wonder, how the heck did they put a sign all the way up there, right? So sign stapler is what we use, and it's just a long pole, basically a PVC pole, and you can actually go to Home Depot and make your own. But again, sign stapler makes it. You can Google them, and they'll be able to help you out there.
Nice. Sounds fun and kind of dangerous at the same time. We do have 2 more questions here. James wants to know, now, and you might cover this. So we're talking about using VAs for cold calling. Do you ever use VAs to answer the phones once those calls are coming in?
So no, what we do is we actually route our numbers to our clients. Okay. Now, when the calls are coming in, you remember we're dialing 400 people a day. So if 400 people start calling you, and half of those people are not interested in selling their house and they're just trying to see who's calling them and what do you want, we don't recommend doing that. What we do recommend is that calling the leads that are interested, and then you can use a system like CallRail. You can call through there to track, or you can also use Google Voice. But yeah, you don't want to do the whole incoming call thing, because that's going to mess up your phone dramatically. Your battery will probably die in an hour just from like hundreds of people calling you back. Because remember, guys, every time you pull a list, you're pulling a list of 5,000 plus. I would recommend, if you're even cold calling, you need to pull a list of 5,000 plus motivated sellers, right? How do you do that? Go to runmycomps.com. You'll be able to get a distressed and motivated seller leads from there. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see a live demo that I've done with PropStream, and shows you how to pull these lists correctly.
Nice. Interesting. And then one more question here. How can we double check that the VA is putting in their time correctly? Great question.
Absolutely. Great question, right? Now, if you don't have a third party like callvirtuals.com calling for you, because we micromanage, we manage the entire process. We know our VAs are calling. Okay. You can download many softwares out there for virtual assistants. Okay. If you go to Fiverr, you'll be able to find a VA and they're going to clock their hours. Also, here's another trick. In the Call Virtuals dialer, the dialing platform, it tells you the times that the VA is actually calling. So it'll give you the hours. It literally like tracks the time. Does that make sense, guys? Was there any other question? That's
all the questions that we have for now.
Awesome. Okay, great questions, guys. I love the interaction today. Phenomenal, right? Another thing I want to go over is make sure you guys have a script. When you are cold calling these sellers, you need to have a script. One tip I give my team, and one tip that all of our VAs are using, put a mirror in front of you. Ron, why the heck do I need a mirror in front of me? Because people see your smile through the phone. Does that make sense? Every time you're not smiling, somebody will know, right? And that's a huge tip, right? So you can hear it in the voice. If you stand up and make calls, like I'm standing up right now, so my voice is projecting, right? Stand up and make phone calls. Have a mirror in front of you, and that helps out A lot, guys, a lot. When I was in the car business, I was in the auto industry for 11 years. And when I was training my car sales guys, I would always tell them, hey, when we're calling these clients, make sure you have a mirror in front of you because you can see yourself smiling and the person on the other line sees your smile over the phone. Does that make sense? Awesome. Cool, cool. All right, now let's move forward to KPIs, key performance indicators. Without a KPI sheet, without a roadmap, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. Let me repeat that again. Without the right tracking of your marketing, without the right tracking of your tools, you do not have a business. You have a marketing. Once again, I told you guys are some of the smartest people in the real estate investing world because you are a Quest client, right? You are here to run a business, not a hobby. What do we look for whenever we are tracking our KPIs? Number one is going to be my response rate. How long does it take me to respond to the seller? If I take 2 hours to respond to the seller after they've told me they're interested in selling their house, you can best believe that lead is about to go cold. You always want to strike the iron when it's hot, right, guys? When is iron the most moldable? When it's hot, right? So when a seller is willing to sell their property and they're interested in selling their property, you always want to strike the iron when it's hot. Call them right away. I would suggest calling them within a 2 to 3 minute gap after your VA has submitted the lead, because you give them enough time to kind of sit there and go over what they just told your VA and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you want to call them back. So the second one is your leads to contract. How many leads am I getting to how many contracts I'm getting? Does that make sense? All right. Number 3 is one of the most important KPI, cost per deal. How much is it costing me to get a contract? Okay, guys, I know exactly what my average per deal KPI was last year per month. Per deal, sorry. What my per deal KPI was, right, guys? Why? Because I track all the above. Now, that leads me to my average deal size. What was my average deal size? Was it 10 grand? Was it 20 grand? Was it 30 grand last year? You want to know all of this, right? Not only, of course, for your bookkeeping, but you want to know how much is your average deal size and is your real estate business profitable or not? That's how you do it, right? Now, how do we get these sellers to sell us their properties versus our competition? It's simple. We're not there to buy their house. We're there to build rapport with them, and we are there to provide a solution. Who agrees with me? If you are there to provide somebody with a solution, are they more likely to sell you their house instead of saying, yeah, I'm here to buy your house? Who agrees with me? Absolutely. 100%. The comments are dropping in. Building rapport is key, guys. You got to build rapport with the seller. 100%. One of the best ways that we build rapport with sellers is I like to use an acronym, and it's called FORM. Every time you use this acronym, okay, guys, you will never lose track of where you are in your conversation. FORM is an acronym. The F is for family. You always want to talk about the seller's family. You always want to talk about, hey, are you downsizing or are you upgrading? The seller will tell you, oh, my son's going off to college. Oh, awesome. What type of college are they going to? Right? Oh, I went to U of H or A&M or TSU or UT Austin or wherever the seller is, right? You definitely want to build rapport on that level, right? How many kids, if you don't mind me asking, how many kids do you have? Oh, I have 3 boys myself. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. How did you guys weather out during the storm? This is all about breaking the ice. Next is going to be occupation. How, right? If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Seller, what line of profession are you in? That sounds a lot better than what do you do for a living? That sounds more intrusive, right? Again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Next is going to be recreation, right? Here in Texas, we love our guns. Let's face it, right? Anytime I hear a seller talking about going to the range, or if I'm at a seller's property and I see photos of him, we see photos of them like going out and hunting, we like to build common ground. Remember, people do business with people they like and trust. Last but not least, The M is the most important of these all. Motivation. Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell your property? What is your motivation? Okay. Now, people have many motivations. Write this down. Time motivation. Okay. If they've inherited a property. Number 2, inherited a property. Okay. Number 3 is going to be vacant. Vacant. All right. Haley, if you want to write these down in the comments, because I'm going to go over quite a few motivational factors. And why am I going through these motivational factors, guys? This is the type of list that you're pulled, runmycomps.com. I'm showing you guys how to pull a list. Come on now. I'm showing you exactly what to do. I'm not just telling you, I'm showing you what to do, guys. So this is what it is, okay? First is going to be time motivation. Second is going to be inherited property, okay? Third is going to be vacant property, or is just sitting there. There's a lot of vacant properties, okay, guys? There's also going to be a out-of-state owner. That's going to be motivation too, right? Out-of-state owner, out-of-state absentee owner list, right? The next is going to be a tenant problem. How many of you guys are landlords and you've got problems with tenants, right? The forbearance right now, the government is giving the power to the people. Oh my God, right? A lot of the landlords out there, they're having a hard time getting rent from these tenants, right? Due to COVID and stuff like that. It's nuts out there. I had a landlord send us a deal one time, and the tenants said they couldn't pay because they had COVID. Oh my God, it's crazy, right? People are coming up with some crazy stuff. Divorce is the next one, right? We live in a country that has an over 50% divorce rate. It's probably gone higher due to COVID. Right? I'm just kidding, guys. So divorce rate is a big factor, right? The next is going to be job transfer. People transfer jobs all the time, right? Don't you think that job transfer is a high motivation? It is, right? Absolutely, right? Next is going to be property is going to be in despair. The property needs a lot of work. That's motivation. The roof is off. The AC is not working, right? The foundation is cracked. That's pretty expensive items to fix. And that's what we look for whenever we're calling sellers. We ask about the roof, the AC, and the foundation. Why do you think those are the top 3 things that we check? Because those are the most expensive items, okay? The seller bought another home. That's another motivating factor, right? They're buying another home for their family. Either they're upgrading or they're downsizing. Okay. Also, financial struggle. Every time a seller is going through financial struggle, they need that extra cash. That's why they want to sell their property. Okay. We also have retirement, health. They're getting old, elderly, right? When we're calling these sellers with high equity, it's not a 20-year-old that we're calling with high equity. These are people who bought their houses 30 plus years ago, who have 30 to 50 or even paid off homes, right? 30%, 50% equity, or even paid off homes. Does that make sense? We also deal with sellers that have probate. I hope you guys are writing this down. Okay, I'm going through a lot of these, right? Probate. Probate is a phenomenal lead generation method that we do, right? When somebody passes away, they don't have a will, property goes into probate. We do a lot of probate deals, okay? Sometimes a buyer backs out. Now, where does the buyer back out from? The MLS, right? We go after expired MLS listings. That's the big motivating factor, right, guys? So if a seller is just tired of a realtor, tired of having random people constantly walking through their house during COVID-19, right? They don't know these people, right? And that's the biggest thing that we can tell sellers too, is that, hey, one of the biggest benefit is dealing with us is we come only one time to take a look at the property. If you list it with a realtor, you're going to have multiple open houses. People are going to walk in and out, right? Etc., etc., etc. Okay, guys? Now, flood or fire damaged homes. We do also deal in floods. We live near the Gulf, right? Harvey hit. Do you guys remember Harvey? Yes, right? Now we can actually add snow to that list. So unfortunately, there's not a list for snowed homes, but flooded homes, we definitely do purchase and get those, remediated, stuff like that. So, and then, one of the other, last but not least, I'm going to say is tax delinquent properties. properties that have been tax defaulted. Okay, guys, these are some of the top motivations for sellers. Does that help you guys? Does that make sense? Awesome, awesome. Great. Sharon, thank you so much for being interactive on this. All right, awesome. Rebecca says awesome. I'm gonna give away to the top 3 people who interact the most on this. I'm gonna be doing giveaways. Haley doesn't know yet, but I like to reward people who are interacting during webinars. Okay, I'm gonna be doing giveaways, and trust me, you guys are gonna like this giveaway that I'm gonna do. So Haley, do I have your permission? Can I do some giveaways at the end? People are interacting, right? We should reward. There we go. I got the thumbs up for her. Good stuff. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions? There we go. Abdul says 1 property giveaway. I can't give you a property, Abdul. That's awesome. Cool, cool. Haley, are you giving away a property at the end?
No, but I'll authorize you to give one away. That works for me.
Actually, he should be giving us one away because that's my student who made $70,000 profit on one deal.
Nice.
So we're all going to get a house from Abdul today. How about that? Awesome, awesome, cool, cool. All right, guys, let's moving forward here. Let's go to the next slide, and there we go. Perfect. Let's talk about the type of list that we target. Okay, guys, a lot of investors get confused in the nuance and the intricacies of targeting the type of list. Now, let me be the first one to tell you, there's no golden list. You're going to get a deal out of pretty much any list that you pull because you never know somebody's motivating factor. If a wholesaler or an educator or an investor tells you that, oh, this is the list to pull, this is the blah, blah, blah. No. Listen, guys, I've heard it all. Complete BS, right? You're going to get a list from pretty much any of the lists that you pull, right? Now, again, full disclaimer, bankruptcy is a very, very sensitive topic. PropStream does provide you with the pre-bankruptcy list. Probate. Remember, guys, I want to actually let me skip back a little bit. With bankruptcy, you need to be careful and you need to tread lightly with that list. Okay, guys. The reason is that if you say the wrong thing to a person who is in the middle of bankruptcy, you will go to jail. Be careful. Matter of fact, if you are not, if you're not an advanced investor, I would suggest do not call that list. What happened is in Houston, there was an investor who was guiding people. Listen to this. There was an investor in Houston who was calling a pre-foreclosure list. Okay, and then he was guiding people to file for bankruptcy. You cannot do that, guys. Full disclaimer: do not do that, right? And it's insane, right? That investor went to jail. It is a federal offense. Do not. Again, do not give any advice to sellers that are going through bankruptcy. Now, do we deal with sellers who are going through bankruptcy? Do we wholesale their houses? Absolutely, yes. But be to a point where you are not providing any information or any guidance to those types of people. Okay. Number 2 is going to be probate. Probate list is phenomenal. We get properties through probate all the time, right? And these are people who are looking for quick cash. Hey, I got a property for my grandma. I don't know what to do with it. Can you pay me 30 grand? And the property's worth like 150 grand. Absolutely, 100%. We'll pay cash for that property. We'll go out and sell that property for, $45,000, $50,000, make a quick $15,000, $20,000 profit, sell it to the investor. They're going out, rehabbing it, doing what they're doing, right? Number 3, pre-foreclosures. One of the hottest lists you can get, especially right now, is pre-foreclosures, okay? What do you think happened to all these properties that came on the market for per forbearance? They all are going through a pre-foreclosure, okay, guys? Number 4 is divorce. We've had a seller one time tell us, can they split the house and cut the house in half and give the wife the other half? We can't do that, guys. That's not what we can do. Of course, he was joking, but divorce is a highly motivated list. Okay, guys? And there's, again, right, you can build relationships. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a tip. We build relationships with divorce attorneys. Why do you think that is? Hey, Mr. Attorney, right? We help divorce people out too all the time. And if you ever have a client that's looking to sell their property due to their divorce, give us a call. We'll just make a cash offer, and we'd love to give you a marketing or referral fee. Build relationships with people, guys. This business is about building relationships, right? Number 5, one of our highest producing lists is going to be a high equity absentee owner list, in-state and out of state. Okay, in-state, out-of-state owner list. Number 6, as I said, tax delinquent list. Okay, guys, people who have defaulted on their taxes are going to be motivated to sell their houses. Number 7 is a ninja list. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, this is one of the hardest lists to get. But if you get access to this list, you are, oh man, you're golden almost, right? Again, I said there's no such thing as a golden list, but trust me, if you are able to get a water shut-off list, these are people who have had their water shut off due to non-payment. Imagine if they don't have water in the property, they're not living in the property, right? How do you get a water shut-off list? It's going to be your local county courthouse, right? Build relationships with these types of individuals, etc., and you'll be able, you should be good to go. So you're not going to just go there and say, hey, can I have a water shut-off list? Like, no, that doesn't happen. And this takes a process. It goes over time, and you need to be able to build relationships with these people in order to get access to that type of list. Does that make sense? I'm seeing a lot of great feedback here. Wow, cool, good, absolutely, guys. That's what I'm here for. You can get all of these lists to target, except for the water shutoff list on runmycomps.com. Okay, if you go to runmycomps.com, you get a 7-day free trial, and you'll be able to pull your list. We power it. We partner with PropStream, and you'll be able to get that, right? We're coming to the end of our slides now, right, guys? Listen, I'm going to tell you guys, nothing matters if you don't take action. You guys came to this webinar because you took action. How many of you guys got so much information out of this webinar so far? Drop your comments below, right? Drop your comments below. If you've got a lot of information from this webinar, Rebecca, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all of you guys for taking action, especially coming on this webinar and learning how to grow your business. Okay? All right, Faria, good stuff, good stuff. Bunch of gems, a lot of good stuff. James, cool. Now, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, was without shadow of doubt one of the greatest ball players. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I was never a Kobe fan, but I do respect his Mamba mentality. Kobe was always the first person to come in and first person to leave the arena, right? Kobe Bryant said, life is too short to get bogged down and be discouraged. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going. Put one foot in the front of the other. Smile and just keep rolling, guys. Without risk, there is no reward. You got to be dedicated. You got to have determination, and you got to have the sacrifice. You got to give sacrifice. Remember, those who sacrifice always gain a lot more, right, guys? This industry is not easy. We all know this. If it was easy, everybody would succeed. But if you have the right systems, the right tools, the right process, and if you have the right mentor to guide you, you're good to go, right? Again, why do people get a mentor? To cut 90% of their learning curve, right? And that's the biggest thing, right? So you can follow me on Instagram. I have a pretty big following, 100,000 plus followers on social media. You can Facebook me, add me on Facebook, send me a message. I do reply back to all my messages personally. I do get 30 to 40 messages a day, so I'll try to get back to you if you do send me a message. YouTube, go to Ron Rana 1 on YouTube. Okay, just Ron Rana, the number 1 on YouTube. Okay, and then you can also look me up on Instagram. So absolutely, guys, and this is about giving back to the community and giving a lot back to the industry, right? Because again, I was in your shoes one time. I was writing notes down, right? An expert was once a beginner, And that's where, you know, a lot of you guys may be right now. You're just a beginner, and one day you're going to turn into an expert. I also am the host of the Real Estate Anarchy podcast. I interview a lot of power players. Matter of fact, I have interviewed Derek Long with Quest. He talks a breakdown of how to, you know, how to use your IRA to invest in real estate tax-free. Wonderful webinar, podcast that we've done together. All right, let's drop it down to a Q&A. But of course, before that, guys, if you are interested to learn more about kind of what I do and how we coach and mentor, you can go to wholesalingre101.com. If you want me to personally mentor you, send us an email, send my team an email, mentoring@investopiaonline.com. And my team will reach out to you guys, and we love to work with you guys. Many of my students, just like Abdul, who's on this webinar, one of the deals he did was off of a Bandit sign, and he made a $70,000 profit. I've got a few other students who are doing phenomenal, $18,000 first deal. Many of my students have gone and built businesses, scaled an operation, and they're closing multiple deals a month. So this is what we do, guys. This is my way of giving back to the real estate community. So if you are interested, just reach out to us. I'd love to be a vessel for you guys, and I'll be honored to help each and every one of you guys. Matter of fact, a lot of my students are on this webinar here. So, all right, Q&A. Haley, what Q&A do we have for everybody?
Yeah, definitely. So we do have a few questions. James wants to know, you mentioned PropStream has a Driving for Dollars app. Have you compared that to Deal Machine, or any pros and cons there?
Yes. So Deal Machine, I'll be honest with you guys. So PropStream is all about data aggregation. Deal Machine is great. Don't get me wrong. But again, I want to deal with somebody who is an all-in-one platform, right? Deal Machine is only a Driving for Dollar app. PropStream does Driving for Dollars. They also let you contact the seller when you're at the property right away. You can send a postcard, and then you can pull a list. Remember, data aggregation, and then you can also run comps with PropStream. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And again, nothing against Deal Machine, wonderful platform, but I'm the guy who wants to just keep everything in one spot. So, and they're a jack of all trades. So again, if you go to runmycomps.com, you will be able to go and sign up for a 7-day trial. After 7 days, if you say, hey, I want to continue. If you say it's not working for me, there's no harm, no foul. This is why they give you a 7-day trial. You can check it out. And then the cool thing about it is that you can actually track your mileage within their app too. So it'll show you where you're driving, okay? And then you can also, again, take that mileage, give it to your CPA, and write off your miles.
Awesome. Great information there. I do have a question, actually, that I thought sounded interesting. You mentioned something in the beginning of your presentation about wholesaling virtually in some of the other markets. Do you do a lot of virtual wholesaling? How does this work? Is this something that's becoming more common in today's day and age?
Yes, 100%. So virtual wholesaling is just like how it sounds. I'm in Houston and I'm marketing San Antonio, and sellers are calling us to buy their properties. 100% of our contracts are over the phone. We do not go and view the property before we go and put them under contract. Why is that? What if you don't know what you're buying, right? So we've mastered the art of getting properties over the phone, getting contracts over the phone. And this is exactly what I teach my students on how to do that. I have students, for example, in Florida, marketing in Houston, or I have people in Houston marketing in Atlanta. Like, you don't need to be there at the property. We have certain verbiage in our contracts that gives us the right, again, to back out per our due diligence process. So one time, Haley, the seller said, hey, we asked him about the roof. Oh, the roof is fine. The roof is in great condition. We actually went out to the roof after we signed the contract. My acquisition went out, and there literally was no roof on the house. I'm dead serious. So the city set the house for demo, and the seller was in California. This was an out-of-state absentee owner. So she was like, what are you talking about? My roof is not there. And I'm like, yeah, your house is in the middle of tear down. The city's demoing your property. Did you know that? She didn't know. She got in touch with the city. Sure enough, that was the case. So make sure whenever you do get properties under contract over the phone, yes, we are looking at the property after we get them under contract. Why? Because I have ironclad contracts that gives me the right to back out of a property if it does not pass my due diligence process or inspection.
So interesting. Great information there. And then this is really a common question. I'm actually surprised no one's asked it yet. For someone who's looking to get into wholesaling, how do you go about building your buyers list?
That is a phenomenal question. You attend every single webinar that Quest has. That's the answer.
And the virtual networking happy hours.
And the virtual networking event. What you do is how I was able to build such a substantial buyers list, Haley, is that I would attend every single networking event. I was such a networking junkie. I created my own networking event, Coffee and Contracts, which we've had the pleasure of Quest being a part of that also. Right, guys? And that's where it lies. Your network is your net worth. Go on Facebook and tell people, hey, I'm looking for a property. Here's my buy box. Wholesalers reach out to me. Go on these Houston real estate investment groups and say, hey, I'm a buyer who's a wholesaler. Boom. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very interesting there.
The power of social media. I can't explain it enough.
There's a lot of Facebook groups out there too that are super active, both like in Texas, outside of Texas, women's groups. So definitely great resources for you guys to check out there. We do have just one more question here, and I think we could probably both answer this one. Do you offer webinars about financing projects?
So a lot of our clients that come to us are using their own financing already. We do not offer those classes, but we do work with people like Quest who do these webinars. So absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to kind of answer the Quest side of that question, we offer a lot of webinars and we talk a lot about private money lending. There's a lot of people out there that like to use their IRAs to be private lenders on other investors' deals. So we do a lot of education about that. Now, as far as like bank financing, hard money lending, that's definitely something I would recommend, to go speak with those particular lenders and do your own due diligence, because every market is different. Every market has different strong lenders, kind of things like that. So you want to make sure that you're probably in that case working with someone who is local to where the project is. So that way they can provide you that relevant information about your financing options.
100%. Absolutely.
And Ron, I actually think that's all the questions that we have. I know we got through quite a bit in the presentation. Before we sign off for the day, do you have any kind of last closing thoughts or advice that you would like to leave our audience with for today?
Yeah, I think there's been a bunch of people. I'm going to just randomly pick. So Rebecca Cordero, and then we have Sharon Wu. So if you guys want to reach out to me, I do have a special gift for you guys. Remember, reach out to me on Facebook. Let me know that, hey, you are the top 2 winners, and I will be doing a special giveaway for you guys. Some of the last remarks that I do want to leave you with, by the way, James, thanks. He said, thanks, Ron. Really enjoyed your talk. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I'm truly humbled. I'm honored. Every time somebody comes in, I'm always happy because nobody listens to me at my house. So, if somebody has, right? When people meet me, they say, "Ron, you're so famous in the real estate world." I said, no. I'm only famous in my kitchen. Like my kids are my fans, and my wife is my fans. That's all I need, right? So. But I appreciate you guys reaching out, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Some of the last remarks is just go out there. This business, again, let me be the first one to tell you guys, this business is not easy, but it is well worth it. But if you have the right systems, you have the right tools, and you have the right mentor, you will be able to do wonderful in this business. Again, right, the MLS has seen an exponential growth. The Houston MLS, over 10,000 homes were sold in Houston last month alone. Okay, go on the MLS and look at it. Look how wonderful our market is. So next month, we're going to have Coffee and Contracts. We are doing it every single month. If you are in Houston, Texas, I'd like to invite you guys out. We don't have a date yet, but if you go to Coffee and Contracts on Facebook, join the group. Right? And then if you want to learn more about wholesaling or, just getting a mentor out there, I do have a course for $4.99, gives you the contracts, gives you the scripts, gives you everything that we're doing in this business, all the way from networking, finding buyers, over 60 ways to market to sellers. It's a whole package course, and we have people who are coming in and closing deals out of that course. So, and then some people just want to hand holding. Some people say, hey, I don't want to sit in front of the computer all day and look at videos, right? That's when they jump on a call with us and we see if we are qualified to be your mentor, because not everybody's going to be right for each other. We want to make sure we're taking on the right student. If we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, at the end of the day, our results speak for themselves, right? I've invested over 6 figures into my business, but I've also lost. Let me rephrase that. I've also learned, because you never lose in this business. You always learn, right? So I've learned spending $100,000+ from the false gurus out there, the Lambos and the private jets. I'm not here to sell you a dream, guys. We're here to do deals, close deals, partner with us, and see how a deal is. If you want to be on our buyers list, send us a deal, mentoring@investopiaonline.com. We'll make sure we add you guys. And that's all I got. Haley, thank you so much. This is the second time I'm speaking for Quest. It was an honor and a privilege to be invited back. So I'm truly humbled. I'm truly honored. Thank you, guys. I hope I was able to provide you guys with just a little bit of more clarity and a little bit of insight to go out and take action now and close some deals. I want to hear your testimonials, guys. So if you guys use one of the tactics that I've shared here, one of the, tips and tricks, come back to Quest and say, hey, I closed the deal off of Ron's webinar. I used one of his techniques, because the last webinar I had, actually a investor got a property under contract, but the seller backed out. So, and they were on a Quest webinar. So Haley, you guys are changing lives. Like, people are, the reason why I want to come back and keep doing Quest events is because the people actually take action.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Awesome. Yeah, Ron, so thank you so much for joining us today. To all of our attendees out there, thank you for watching, and thanks for making this a fun, interactive class. If you guys have any questions, reach out to Quest, reach out to Ron, go find him on social media, and I hope to see you guys at the virtual networking happy hour tomorrow night. I did paste that link in the chat just one more time for you guys, and that's all I've got. Y'all have a great day. Ron, it was great to see you. Well, I'm sure we'll see you later.
Thank you so much, guys. Ron Rana signing out. Peace out.